that way. Want a bit more AP damage. Could, of course, be on hit, but that's largely been QV only when it comes to the press the attack. Kennen.
I find this interesting. I think that most people would think that Neon would be piloting the Nico. It's one of his favorite champions, and his Pop Blossoms have been some of the best here in Summer so far, but it will be Rascal on the top side of the map with the Nico.
It's high potential playmaking from Kingzone and reliable siege into teamfight from the side of SKT. Really intriguing. Remember, you could see some cool things in this game, for example, Realm Warp, and then an early use of the Pop Blossom to bring that ult and active the moment the Realm Warp comes through. Possible. Tahm Kench's Rise, not good enough in game number 2, but how much of that was the smart push forward and 3 buff on the Kha'Zix, and how much of that was a misexecute on the side of Kingzone Dragon X? A lot of potential, but again, this comp pretty much always does what it says on the tin. The siege with Zoe is amped up. Around that siege, Zyra Khan, Rek'Sai. Teamfight with a flanking Kennen. They were kind of forced into Kennen, but they are forced into a comp that's reliable.
Yeah, certainly is reliable and will be reliable throughout the entirety of the game. So excited to see how it's going to be piloted as we get onto the Rift for game number 3 in the final of the night. SKT fans desperate for a bounce back for the #1 team from Spring, the team that barely scraped in to a missed opportunity.
Remember,
the MSI final,
if Kingzone beat SKT today, on the most recent time they have played every other of the 9 teams in the league, they would have won. And that is so big for an org that went for a rebuild, whose roster on paper, you're like, I don't know about this. Rascal was okay when he subbed in, didn't play a lot. Cuz, I mean, ran the Royal Road and then was a sub for a year behind Peanut.
Yep.
Neon, you know, remembering Clown Noses and Quickshot and Deficio popping Party Poppers on Origin, right? It's a bit of a misfit org in terms of this initial lineup, and yet it's really come together quickly. But that was a week with the Neon version, and while Neon had a very good game #1, can he stand up to the test? Because it's enough to say game 1 against Faker of a best of 3. It's another thing to say game 3 of a 1-1 series that could mean so much for contendership for top spot in Korea.
And what's happened yet again is that Cuz has been spotted out in his initial clear, the red buff where he started. Good vision available here from SKT.
That was a very big feather in the cap in game number 2, remember?
Yeah.
So that means some predictable pathing versus the Rek'Sai, who we should mention is going for the Ultra Rek'Sai comfort of full top side clear for a quick level 3.
Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to be able to head down towards the Raptor camp to complete that one. We'll see whether he continues on as Faker, putting down more vision, will take away the Blast Cone.
Ah, look at this. Khan has gone Unsealed Spellbook, so dropping the Klepto, staying in the same tree.
Yeah.
But wanting some options like Ignite to try to all-in the AP Nico from time to time. I guess the theory is that whenever he walks up for a Klepto auto, he gets the Q in the face, and that pushes the wave and harasses. The reason why people love Victor and other mages, but mostly Victor and Nico, into Kennen in the top lane is that when he walks up, is put down your Q if you're the Nico, or your E if you're the Victor, push the lane, and also get that harass in, so less free Klepto autos in a range versus range matchup.
Has also given away the fact that he is going to be going the AP route on the Kennen. Of course, the most recent Kennen that we saw was the on-hit variety. Khan has more impact in the team fight. Here for SKT.
Aftershock for Cuz from the jungle. The last time we saw the jungle Aatrox this season, it was Conqueror to continue what we would see in top lane. In the past, though, Keswick up, and also in the summer season, it was Aftershock, just because you would get those resists. No free turret dives like before, but some free tankiness might mean the turret dives is still on.
Yeah, certainly good news, as Rascal is going to find himself a heck of a lot of damage there onto Khan.
Yeah, I mean, this lane's rough.
Yeah. Pretty rough here at this stage as well. Good snap. Haru is going to be trading the Rift Scuttlers this time around. Not exactly as lucky as he was in game number 2, which is good news if you're a Kingzone fan. And also good news if you're a fan of League of Legends. That's a great pick-off there from Tucson, getting the Devour, but the Blade Call is even better there from Teddy. Trade going to be won by SKT pretty handedly.
So you know in a wrestling match where both people do cool moves and they get up and it's even? That's what it felt like in this 2v2. Everyone used their buttons and the health trade was even. So you almost want to clap and say, all right, more of this, more active fighting. And Haru says, as soon as possible, please. I'm ready to get a kill.
Deft is going to be able to pick up these minions here underneath this turret to try and even things out. The back is going to complete there from Haru. So, abated as far as pressure is concerned. Here in the mid lane, slight advantage for Neon, but does have the wave in a great position.
And he's picked up an exhaust, so we get to get back to the fun that is, of course, Zoe's W.
Yeah, I feel like we replaced Zoe with Sylas for a little while, and we had the hijack shenanigans breaking the brain of every caster ever, and now we're back to the Zoe situation where all of the summoner spells come out, and we have to think quickly as to which the heck version
Rascal
was there, as Rascal's going to wander himself into the enemy jungle and get punished for it immediately. Flash is expended, but no first blood just yet.
Actually, that works out okay for Rascal because it's not Haru's flash is traded. That's where the top laner wins, right? When your jungler trades for the enemy top laner's flash, and then you have a flash advantage to all in lane. Notice that he'll have ignite opportunities in a minute's time with that unsealed spellbook option. If he could have a flash advantage in lane, there's all-in potential, but it's just flash for flash. So an honest Nico versus an honest Kenneth on the top side.
This bottom lane still continuing to trade things out. Slight advantage as far as the farm is concerned for Teddy, but Zyra Khan is a pretty difficult lane to navigate for any duo. And Tucson and Deft are more about not dying rather than straight up winning at this stage of the game. Control ward there in the back of the pit, spotted there by Mata. As the Ocean Drake just gets frustrated.
You guys are wondering why would you put a control ward there if you're not going to start it? What you do is you put a control ward in a spot where the enemy won't just path and normally see, i.e. the river, and then if you're making topside camps like we see Cuz doing, you don't just lose the Drake instantly as a result because you can spot it out and you know if the enemy started it. Speaking of knowing.
Yeah, Infernal Chains is going to land, gets the third knock-up as well as Khan gets down to basically no health, and Rascal steals away the kill that Cuz practically solo.
There was a ward in the river, but I guess he plopped over and it wasn't noticed because that was just a full rotation of damage and you don't even need Conqueror. Pops him down. First goal of the game to Kingzone.
Really nicely done. Rascal with some awkward items right now, but after that first blood, he's going to go back and have a much better back timing with teleports still available.
And again, just so people are clear, with that control ward bot side, you can camp for longer and not know that you're just sucking your thumb while the enemy gets a free Drake. So you see it just around where the tree is inside the camp, but also at the back of the pit is a viable spot.
And now you got Cuz pathing towards that bottom side. Grand Entrance comes in, Deft just buffers the Arcane Shift. Things are going to be okay. Blade Caller gets some good return damage, however, and the Tongue Lash is not going to find the mark. This bottom side matchup is just so intense between these two. Just the mechanical prowess of both Teddy and Deft in the AD carry position, and then the experience of Tucson and Mata just makes this matchup so close, stylistically and mechanically. So fun to watch.
But isn't it such a different look with them playing a couple of games of Ezreal Tom? You think of Ezreal Tom, you think of gen.g with poor JJ and Ruler, you think of Frey and Gorilla, and that's because what does this duo do? Maybe not as well as before Tom Kenchner's, but plays the weak side, just deals with no jungle help and then goes mid lane and can make plays. So it kind of telegraphs, hey, we're playing top side, is kind of what it telegraphs, and so far that's worked out. How's his bot side? Just present for a counter gank, but it's definitely Kingzone subverting expectation because this year, Deft has been the icing on the cake rather than the cake, the icing, just about everything for Kingzone Dragon X.
Yeah, it's been Cuz and Rascal that have been overperforming, and in fact, the stars of the show at the moment. I don't think Deft has picked up one MVP so far. Is down towards the bottom side, a lot of damage going down. The return trade is just too good from SKT. Minions also helping out, down to about 300 health, is the Ezreal. Haru lurking, looking for Cuz. Neon with the Realm Warp available and Zoe off to the side.
Haru's got a nice angle on Neon.
Yeah, Phase Rush is going to come in, flash immediately. Doesn't waste any time. Trouble Bubble doesn't land.
That is definitely an evacuation first, because any sort of lock-up into a Trouble Bubble is GG for the Rise. Now, love to see SKT turn this into more.
Yeah.
Buff.
Haru gonna jump in. Cuz just takes away the blue for himself and says, nope, you ain't stealing nothing. Maybe a little bit greedy there from Haru. Did have the smite available, but would have liked Faker to steal that instead.
Let's see if Rise has a tier back time.
Whoa, this is a big teleport coming in from the Rise. Mata now is able to battle dance. Huge extended range, as it was actually Rascal that gets in. He's still looking for more Marta. There's the grand entrance, Pop Blossom. He wants more ultimates, traded, Blade Caller. Doesn't land onto Def, but it did zone him and kept him alive.
Extension of the close fighting we've had in the early laning phase, this time with a teleport rolled in that does not bear fruit. Teleport advantage for Rascal. They can't cement a kill, and they don't even get double flash as Marta uses the quickness to get the hell out of dodge.
Yeah, really nicely done. A lot of buttons on cooldown now. Both ultimates here from the SKT bottom lane as Def very, very low. Haru lying in wait, looking to burrow his way in here. There's the Blade Caller. Tucson does get the Devour, but remember, he's so slow. Arcane Shift. He's going to come down. Flash still there from Deft, but he knows that that ultimate is not on him. He's waiting. Oh, Haru, do you have it? The Prey Seeker's going to have to find the mark, but it doesn't, and Tucson survives.
Tucson's a god. He played that perfectly. He even moved away from his AD carries so that with AoE, Haru couldn't just inevitably kill him when he came through after the Void Rush. Awesome stuff from Tucson. How does he find mechanics on Tahm Kench?
I don't know. After the Rakan game, though, you can understand that he's the man to do it if there's going to be anyone. Ocean Drake here very early, although 10 minutes, not exactly the earliest that we've seen, cuz looking to steal it. He does. Can he actually flash to get himself out of the way? The answer is no, because he doesn't want to. Neon delivers himself. It's a switcheroo between the Rise and, of course, the Aatrox, and he has no way of getting out of that. True shot barrage lands onto Teddy, but not Marta.
Wow. Neon trading places with his jungler there was very curious, and yet SKT were in full retreat and they didn't have enough info to know to kill the Rise, who came in 1v3.
I guess we're going to have to watch that movie again, Pop.
That means that Kingzone get very high value Ocean Drake. Remember, this is everybody loves Ocean Drake on the side of Kingzone when it comes to laners, so
yeah, true. It's only Cuz that doesn't care, right?
Nico, Rise, Ezreal all love to be active and spamming their spells. Let's watch the replay on this one. Come on, show us the Tucson play. I don't want to watch this one. The Tucson play was actually insane. Nice steal, though, from Cuz.
Yeah, it was.
His smite button is true.
And he's level 8.
With Aftershock, which is why he doesn't die instantly. He's going out. It's coming in. Oh, dear. But it still works out for Kingzone. Again, the sickest thing about Tucson's exit is that he blocks the Prey Seeker. Normal. Maybe Void Seeker. Normal. The Q there from the Rek'Sai. He was going to tank the ultimate, but if he walks the same way towards the turret, he's going to be next to Ezreal. And then it's just going to be changing targets after the Void Rush. He walked away and then knew the thick skin duration enough to not die. Outstanding escape.
Just ridiculous. That is the mathematical outplay. Just shows that you can have mechanics on absolutely every champion.
And hey, I got an Ocean Drake. Cuz is going for more.
And he's level 9 now. Still 2 levels ahead of Haru. Gigantic as far as the CS advantage is concerned. Trouble Bubble has a lot of range, but doesn't find anyone other than Shelly.
Health bar is noted here, not being controlled by that control ward.
Yeah, no paddle star value there from Faker. Haru still looking for the tunnel. Marta's going to make first roam. Abyssal Voyage available here from Tucson. Teleport to come in from Kingzone. They really want this one. Shelly will be taken there from Cuz. Okay, that's a Trouble Bubble landing onto Deft immediately. The Devour has to be used. Marta takes a lot of damage, but there we go. Khan obliterated. Marta is super squishy. Has to get the heck out of there, and Teddy has nowhere to run. Featherstorm's in, but Cuz just jumps down on top of him. Abyssal Voyage is a special delivery of the kill as the E doesn't land, but Deft should have an Arcane Shift eventually.
They're going to have to use more tools. They'll get it. Ezra just jams the Rift Herald trying to get it in early. Neon walking down. Will this be an execute? That should be a pretty cool execute here.
Yeah, Marta should be able to get a grand entrance eventually.
Will this be one turret shot or two? It actually wants to be one. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and Neon knew what was going to happen there. Rift Herald, though, shoved down in the mid lane. Haru looking for the knock-up. Gets the Chilling Smite. Okay. That's going to be the Void Rush to finish it off. The Trouble Bubble landed point blank after the portal jump. And that's an easy secure there for SKT from the mid lane.
Cuz too greedy. That's the Rift Herald gold on the initial charge, but does go down after it. Still, overall, big victory for Kingzone. The reason for it will be clear in the replay. Rascal understood, just actually split away SKT into 2 forces and set up something approaching a front-to-back team fight rather than SKT were trying to split. If you watch the replay here, note they don't want to do damage to put the Rift Herald below 2,000, just they want the backside to open up so they can get a 1 burst. onto the Riptail. Does not spawn after 2,000. But watch how Rascal approaches this. He doesn't dive forward. He tries to allow Kingzone to fight as one rather than be split. And that means that Haru and Faker at the top side don't do damage after the initial salvo by Kingzone.
Yeah, absolutely no chance to get in there. Divide and conquer. You can see still big smile from Neon. He always has a big smile. As our imported EU talent is working out real well.
Is it wrong that it definitely is wrong, just to head this up, but I kind of want them to lose 2-0 in the future just to see the level of Neon smile we see.
Well, he's lost before and he was still smiling. So, I don't know. I think that he's just, that's just his face.
He is an award-winning loser.
Yeah.
He is.
Which sounds like a slight, but actually he's just really good at being a sports...
I mean, you say that, but it is a slight because he did have the longest losing streak of any pro player ever.
Yeah, but if you can keep your spirits up, that's still good.
You could find a silver lining in just the darkest of days, can't you, Atlas?
You gotta have a shtick, you know? That's fine.
Well, keep doing what you're doing, mate.
Deft and Cuz. On the bottom side, Neon's going to turn up as well. 4 members here converging on this outer turret. No plates to go down. 4,000 gold to lead for Kingzone. Mountain Drake seems to be what's on the menu. As our Kingzone not going to wait for an SKT leash this time around. I think they might be starting this one up. Now Tucson and Deft pushing towards this low health turret. Teddy does have the Blade Caller for some extra damage. Rascal just throwing so many buttons at Khan right here. And the Glacial Augment starting to bear fruit as the Super Soaker has been completed.
Your lane sucks to play in this matchup because there's so many things to try to juke. If you use the Super Soaker, which is the GOP, in case you're wondering, off cooldown, you're throwing out a Q here, an E there, and you're also harassing with the GOP. So you're always going to be tanking damage as Khan, who's doing his best Hecarim impression with the summoners at the moment. Notice that Khan says, well, I'm going to buy a power thing now. I'm not going to go Proto Belt and try to be fine. I'm boned in the 1v1. And he's going for ultra TP plays, is Khan. He does not have a deep lane ward to punish Deft and Tucson.
Nope, and they're going to continue shoving this one forward. Cuz actually waiting for these health bars to be low enough, but there is still a Flash and a Feather Storm. Teddy is not going to be dying anytime soon. Faker comes down just to check this Dragon Pit, and True Shot Barrage is going to make sure that this wave continues shoving relentlessly towards SKT.
Teddy chose to stay in the bot side as the Rakan went back. He now knows about Cuz.
Yeah, Cuz knows that he knows, though. He's going to just make sure that the pressure is there for this tower to be guaranteed. Second tower going down in favor of Kingzone. Top lane outer just fell, and this gold lead is only going to extend.
But if you think about how this game has gone, Kingzone's made the aggressive move, Kingzone's been able to pay them off.
And how have they won all summer? It's exactly that MO.
Really similar, Atlas, especially with the beautiful defense from Tucson earlier. Cuz, onto the Mountain Drake. They already took the turret, so you know Zaya's pulled away and SKT won't be in formation. Mountain Drake's going to go down. They're stacking him up.
Yeah, that is the second Drake, but the first Mountain. And Mountain Drakes, I feel, just have so much extra value if they're on a Kingzone squad, especially one that has Realm Warp and Abyssal Voyage, because they love starting off Baron. They are really happy to press their buttons before their opponent and take what they can on the map. And I feel like this opportunistic play is something that a lot of our LCK teams could learn from.
And I think a lot of LCK teams could learn from this Nico game, because I feel like Nico priority is criminally low at the moment. His champion is so strong in competitive because of the flex nature, and there's always a build. It can be press the attack, it can be Glacial Augment, which is really strong right now, and it can be mid, which is already a lot of things it can be, and it wins in one of those ways against most matchups. So I'm a really big fan of it. It has been first pick, first ban status at some points of the LPL this season. So for it to fall through and not be contested at all, I think is just a quirk of drafting that needs to change.
That was really cute. Grand entrance there used from Mata just to make sure that he doesn't get sniped. Trouble Bubble doesn't land on the Tucson as he eats up his grey health. Thick skin very helpful here when the Zoe is roaming around with a fair bit of damage. Now Luden's Echo completed. And this is the beginning of the mid game where Zoe is going to shine. SKT will be looking to Faker to control Kingzone to the best of their ability, and it's going to be real difficult as they have fallen behind. Haru looking to start a play, but Neon clears out that minion wave almost effortlessly.
They'll be looking to Faker, but they'll actually be leaning on Faker as there's a bit of active trading between Tucson and Def. Reason I say that is everyone else is kind of between items. The moment it's Proto Belt, you know, things need to come in. The Essence Reaver's not enough yet compared to 2-item Ezreal. So the only power lead is in Faker versus Neon in terms of their immediate matchup and just how powerful Sork Shoes plus Ludens is onto the Zoe. So if those bubbles are going wide, around that, lots of wins are available for Kingzone. As one of my favorite cycles, the Clarity was up on Tucson, but sadly, it doesn't stay on the Rift too long.
No, it doesn't. Isn't going to use it there. Just gets his flashback and is making his way back out. Glacial Shroud has been picked up there as well. I wonder whether that is going to be a Zeke's Convergence.
You would assume
something
so.
else.
You'd definitely assume so with where the items are going right now.
And also with where Kingzone are going, Abyssal Voyage aggressively into a fight just to activate it. I like the idea.
Stronger sooner, here we go.
Yeah, Cleanser's going to be traded here between Faker and Tucson. Realm Warp just to join, but the Lightning Rush is going to get Khan out of there, but Kingzone is still in. Okay, Cuz looking for more, gets the reset. World Ender, doesn't matter about the Trouble Bubble landing because Zoe is dead and Cuz does have that ultimate available. True Shot Barrage avoided from SKT, but they are playing so scared, and you can understand exactly why.
A 1-for-0, but now a 5v4, and getting mid lane outer turret with their eyes on Baron with the Mountain Drake is a nice enough backup objective, even if it's not a multi-kill. They walk up, they get the turret, tried to re-engage, did Khan, but first kill comes through, and you just know that's always golden for the Aatrox.
And you saw that it was desperation as well from Khan with that engage. He just couldn't make it out in time. The Lightning Rush had ended, and they'd just gone the wrong way. Good read from Deft and Tucson and the rest of Kingzone. Abyssal Voyage going to come in one more time, and that is going to secure the inner turret on the bottom side. Kingzone playing as if they have a Baron Bow.
My favorite thing about how they play is there's never something that's happening out of step about what other people are doing. You see the Ryze walk up and take turret aggro so they can get a trade, and you're like, oh, that's cool, what does it do? But obviously, Tahm Kench's already mid Abyssal Voyage to back it up and guarantee the turret. This is a team playing as a team richer than just 5 powerful players. It's not a dream team, this is dream team play on the side of Kingzone. The chase down comes in, you know Faker's always going to be very steadfast with his flash, we know his reputation there. Finally uses it, but it's a lot of space for Kingzone to chase, and like you mentioned, Khan goes in trying to make something. Tucson predictably on point, going gold.
Yeah, really, really nicely done. Deft also hit absolutely every ability and every auto attack available.
Next item is because he's got the I can kind of build everything items done. Very unlikely to be a Void Staff. You would assume Morellonomicon, but it's not double pen, so it does something, and it doesn't really reduce that much healing either. I mean, I guess you kind of need it against Aatrox.
Having some flat penetration is also better than having none, and he's gone for the Merc Treads, so there's an idea there, but I think I'd like just Oblivion Orb and then build a real item after that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Not enough of that happens in the LCK, actually.
Because it's jungle Aatrox also, you're not as worried about the ramifications of him being, without healing.
Yeah.
If it's full items, if Aatrox is the most fed, you just go the Oblivion Orb, turn it into Morellonomicon, and grin and bear it that you're not getting the most gold value. Speaking of said Aatrox, 2 levels above Haru.
Yeah, he's been 2 levels above him since level 7, I'm pretty sure.
But who dies?
Hard farming.
With the almost 2 items on the cannon, how do they kill people unless Faker's doing all the heavy lifting? Is something they're finding is a problem because it's 3 Merc Treads on the frontliners here.
Yeah, and how do they actually catch up to Kingzone as well? Because this Nico now has the Spooky Go Super Soaker combo that all of these Nikos are going to pick up, and it just means you control the battlefield so well. Kingzone have already showed us that with Neon piloting this particular Glacial Augment build Nico, and it just seems to work so easily at exactly this stage of the game, much like it would if you had Zoe in a meta past, right? Zoe would control the battlefield in a similar way with the Trouble Bubble, but can't because it's trumped by the Nico play.
And in a different game, you're pushing in, you got outer turrets down, oh crap, I'm trying to take my Raptors, Trouble Bubble over the wall.
Yeah.
Same scenario with Rek'Sai pathing up, with Tremor Sense to not get jumped, and also to look for an aggressive play. Both those champions from behind may not be Olaf, but they do kind of feel a lot more balanced, don't they, when they don't have that leash. So right now it feels like SKT have a lot of champions mid-rangey outside of the Zoe. They're struggling to find relevance, and meanwhile Kingzone have, just a lot of open doors for them to potentially walk through, and they've been the best team this season to see an opportunity and take advantage of it.
Yeah, and they don't wait a beat either in order to do that. I just want to take a moment to point out Cuz and sort of his evolution as a player, because there have been times past where he's had a rough game like he had in Game 2, and feels a little bit absent. Feels like he's not willing to make the plays the game following because it affects his confidence, right? But in this game, Cuz just completely reset and has gone back to his dominating play style that has won them so many games in the past. And I think it just says a lot about his evolution, his maturity as a player as time has gone on. Because when he made his debut in Longzhou so long ago, he was extremely young and was the solo queue prodigy. And it feels like now he's finally finding his footing as a professional player rather than that solo queue king.
The draft behind it did him some favors as well. Remember that 5th pick Kennen, just because they just had so little clarity on what's going on in many areas. The Aatrox ended up being the matchup. You could see him getting counterpicked, getting early killed, and then it falling back to those old patterns Atlas. But out with the old, in with the new. Kingzone, a lot of map control. Very aggressive so far, and they turn on to Baron in trademark Rise fashion.
Yeah, and the shape splitter there blocked the paddle star, which was absolutely adorable. This Baron going down extremely fast, already down to below half health as Mata also getting obliterated. He's so slow. Khan looking to get into the pit. It is going to be secured by Kingzone, but now Khan finds himself in amongst the team. There's no follow-up from SKT as Cuz. He has the reset. No trouble bubble, no worries.
And there's a Kingzone Baron, because guess what? He had multiple smites. It's Tucson with Unsealed Spellbook. It looks close. The Rek'Sai's in the pit, but Kingzone say, we've done enough. This is the time we pull the trigger.
And this was the best teleport you could have hoped for as well, as Khan was trying to make his way in.
But look at what they do. They look and say, we can't control the backside of the pit. We can know exactly when to smite and what our range is. That is why they get the Baron, they get out. How many teams from Korea peel off that Baron Atlas? I'm saying it's a number well above 6.
Yeah, I think so as well. But not Kingzone. Kingzone are a team that says, we've got more smites than them. This is a guaranteed Baron.
And look, that can go wrong, right? There's always a chance.
MVP was in the LCK so long ago.
How many damn Cho'Gath smite combos went wrong?
Oh, God, yeah. And the Callista combos that went wrong. No, we're guaranteed to have this Baron. Nope.
But if you did everything right to that point, and that play works way often than not, because you got the communication of, wait, our range is this, and you don't pull the trigger, you just chose not to go through a win condition, you cultivated for yourself. It may not be 80-20, but Kingzone is that 65-35 team. They do know when to pull the trigger. And that's why it's so cool to see they're not just trigger happy. You know, they have lost in this series. They have been forced to fight for it. They actually know when to pull the trigger.
Yeah, and I also think that if you're an LCK fan, you should be a Kingzone fan right now. Because they are currently teaching the rest of the LCK why we're losing internationally. Because this style wins. The style where you take risks, where you've stacked the deck in your favor, but you do take the risks and you do push forward. That's how you win games. And we'll see whether SKT's going to Teddy just learned a hell of a lesson there. Had to use his ultimate just to get out of the way of a potential flash in from a Cuz Q.
Multiple lanes here. Best of luck. Top side.
Oh, no, nope. Khan.
Aeon's flashes up, so not going to be the all-in available there. Cad trying to catch Haru unawares. 2 levels up, he snaps back.
Yeah, he's going to land it. The Infernal Chains are in there, but Haru is able to keep his distance. And oh my God, the damage onto Teddy, but it was mostly the damage onto the turret as Rascal secures that one. Inner goes down in the mid lane as well. The dominoes are starting to line up and just fall immediately down. It is an 11,000 gold lead approximately here for Kingzone as Cuz. He's got a G8. He's not even scared of getting hit by trouble.
Yeah, I mean, this is not starting to line. This is Megaphone. Guys, you guys are in real trouble.
Right, okay. We're ready for that. The money shot of knocking down the first domino. Is that happening right now? We're teeing that one up in slow motion.
I mean, Kingzone's not knocking on heaven's door here. The ecstasy of the team in Korea the last time they faced them is right next to them, unless SKT can pull off some power plays. There's no shockwave here to find them all.
It's going to have to be an absolute miracle. I don't think that we're going to have a repeat of the slow and steady demise of SKT in their loss against the Afrika Freaks that took an incredibly long time in game number 2. Last time SKT went out onto the Rift. Now it's just Khan getting slowed for days. Rascal controlling SKT and inhibitor turrets getting evacuated from the Rift. Inhibitors going to follow suit here. First the mid lane. Faker trying to find the bubbles, but they're just not there because he's not going to get taken down. Neon just feels like he's immortal even though his flash is on cooldown. And
too much base either. 3 inhibitors taken down on that push. That's a Baron push you like to see. Haru looking to try to mop up a kill, but turns out Aatrox is just backing. That's pretty alpha back.
That is a real alpha back right there.
I want to go back to one of your points, which was, if you're an LCK fan, you should be a Kingston fan. Now, this is an SKT series, and obviously they are the dominant fan base globally and also in this game. So, they're sitting there kind of annoyed, right? They're peeved.
Yeah.
What we can say is the silver lining to what is looking like a Kingzone victory for SKT fans is your international competitiveness will be increased, having a team like Kingzone in form in your region.
How the game should be played, because that just wasn't there. In the spring season, it was the slow and steady team fight style of SKT that rung true towards the end, and now Kingzone, fast and loose, taking it to them here on the Rift. We'll see whether SKT can now adapt as we move ever forward in summer, but now Nexus turrets are under fire. SKT will need to start a fight. Faker had to use his flash earlier on, and Teddy has to use his Feather Storm. He flashes as well. Blade Caller is decent because he's still got his GA, he's still got his Blade Caller. Pop Blossom, he's gonna land, and Khan almost murdered before he can get anything done. Deft in the backline is so safe, and the Nexus is focused. Kingzone get the monkey off their back and take down SKT.
And Kingzone Dragon X can confidently say they are the best team in Korea right now. They find SKT fresh off a defeat, and people will want to say otherwise, but they have beaten every team